Attachment styles look at the different ways we interact and behave in relationships. During early childhood, attachment styles are centered around how children and parents interact, while in adulthood, they are used to describe the patterns of attachment in romantic relationships. A secure attachment style is developed in children when the child regularly gets their needs met. They feel comfortable around their parents, they don't feel separation anxiety when the parent leaves, and they're happy when they return. The child feels safe, nurtured, and in touch with their parents. They seek comfort from their parents when they're frightened, and they have an easier time expressing emotion. Adults with a secure attachment style have low avoidance and low anxiety when dealing with social interactions. They feel comfortable with their emotions and relationships. They know how to draw healthy boundaries. They express their emotions in a healthy manner and feel secure, trusting, and connected to their partners. Overall, individuals with a secure attachment tend to have a positive view of self and others and form trusting and long-lasting relationships. An anxious attachment style is developed in childhood when the child receives an inconsistent amount of love and care. Children who are ambivalently attached tend to be extremely suspicious of strangers. They display considerable distress when separated from a parent and do not seem reassured or comforted by their return. Adults with this attachment have low avoidance but high anxiety with social interactions. They are very concerned with what others feel about them, and because of this concern, they are dependent on others for feelings of validation and approval. They need constant reassurance and communication. In relationships, they want to feel a secure, safe, and loving bond with their partners, but they oftentimes, because of their desire for excessive intimacy, can become overly involved, clingy, and possessive. There tends to be a lack of trust, and they have a difficult time believing that their partners actually love them. Overall, individuals with an anxious attachment style tend to idealize their relationships but live in constant fear of abandonment and rejection. An avoidant attachment style is developed in childhood when only a portion of the child's needs are met. For instance, they may be fed but left emotionally neglected. The parent may discourage the child from crying or have little to no response to when the child is hurting. This attachment style is almost the opposite of a preoccupied anxious style. People in this category have high avoidance but low anxiety with social interactions. They are uncomfortable with intimacy, affection, and love, and generally feel that they are independent of everybody else and think that they do not need relationships. They do not invest much emotion in relationships and experience little distress when a relationship ends. They can often appear distant as they do not share their feelings often. They tend to rationalize their emotions and deny their own feelings to avoid confrontation. A fearful, disorganized attachment style is developed in childhood when the primary caregiver offers inconsistent emotional support and/or abuse and neglect. They have a difficult time connecting with others and simultaneously crave intimacy while wanting to remain independent and distant. Main and Solomon proposed that inconsistent behavior on the part of parents might be a contributing factor in this style. In later research, they argued that parents who act as figures of both fear and reassurance to their child contribute to a disorganized attachment style. Because the child feels both comforted and frightened by the parent, confusion results. These individuals usually get into very dysfunctional and unstable relationships, as this attachment style is more of a combination of preoccupied and dismissive. They have high avoidance along with high anxiety in social interactions. They generally see themselves as flawed and not worthy of loving and caring relationships, and overall, these individuals tend to have a push-pull dynamic where they want to feel close and loved, but since they expect to get hurt, they want to avoid any feelings of intimacy at the same time.